Hello and welcome to the Brasileirao magazine of round 26. The unstoppable leader and inspirational Nacho Fernandes led champions-elect Atlético Mineiro to a win over Santos. Andreas Pereira, Flamengo's maestro. With a magical set piece from the midfielder, Flamengo steamrolled Juventude in the Maracanã. No green light. Jailson saved Palmeiras from defeat against Bahia as his side went 5 without a win. A hard-earned 3 points. Gabriel Pereira scored the winner as Corinthians pulled off a narrow victory versus Fluminense in the Neoquímica Arena. And there's more. Fortaleza sank a desperate Grêmio. Rogério Ceni is back at São Paulo. The big saves and the best skills of the round. It all starts now in the Brasileirao magazine. Red Bull were looking to join the top 4 as they took on Atlético Goianiense in the Nabi Stadium in the first match of round 26. Without Artur, who was out with COVID-19, coach Mauricio Barbieri brought in Elinho to replace the star player. The Dragons had caretaker manager João Paulo Sanchez in charge. He made one change, bringing in Arnaldo at right back. The game started with plenty of movement. With 10 minutes on the clock, Elinho was brought down in the area and the referee called a penalty.
And you can see Igor Karius does not seem very happy with the referee.
Definitely he's not, but at a first glance from right here at our angle, it seems that it's no ball and 100% ankle in that play.
But Fernando Miguel guessed right against Praxedes.
Fernando Miguel called into action the goal for Atlético Goianiense.
Atletico responded with Mateus Barbosa. He entered the box to get hold of a long pass from Andre Luiz and almost surprised Clayton. But the keeper reacted well. On the 29th minute, defensive midfielder Eric Ramirez picked up a second yellow card and got his marching orders. The Massa Bruta down to 10 in the first half. But before the break, Jadson almost struck the opener. He finished from outside the box but shot just over the bar. Despite being the man down, Red Bull were the better team in the second half. After a good exchange of passes, Gabriel Novaes found Jadson inside the area. And this time the number 5 found the net. A great goal from the Massa Bruta, the first for Jadson as a professional.
A beautiful play, a teamwork of the balls. And Jadson, number 5, scoring his first goal in 34 matches. Red Bull Bragantino 1, Atlético 0.
This was a huge win for Red Bull Bragantino, who moved up the table and now have 41 points. 2 losses in the last 3 have cost Atlético Goianiense. Bahia were trying to escape the relegation zone as they clashed swords with Palmeiras and Salvador, and the fans were back after a year and 7 months. The Greens had taken just 4 points from a possible 18 and arrived after a defeat at home at the weekend. Guto Ferreira was on the bench for the second time in charge. Abel Ferreira welcomed back Gabriel Menino at right back and Felipe Melo in the middle. With 3 minutes on the clock, Gilberto got the ball and beat Jailson, but Luan saved Palmeiras. The Greens responded with 2 weak shots from outside the box. The first came from Georgie and the next was from Dudu, but both were easy saves for Danilo Fernandes. On the 37-minute mark, Luis Adriano had a go on goal. His first effort was blocked, but then he squeezed off a shot, prompting a brilliant save from the Bahia keeper. The best opportunity so far for the Greens. The first opportunity of the second half was for the Tricolor. Gabriel Menino got into difficulties and coughed up the ball. Bahia went onto the counter-attack and Gilberto finished with a first-time shot. Jailson had to work another time. A fantastic save by the Palmeiras keeper. Next, Lugni struck from outside the box, and the Greens keeper had to work to deny Bahia another time. Substitute Wesley then got himself sent off for this high challenge, a straight red from the referee. Nil-nil between Bahia and Palmeiras. A poor result for both sides, who continue to struggle at opposite ends of the table. No wins in the league for Palmeiras for almost a month has cost them any chance of taking the league title. In very different positions in the table, Flamengo and Juventude went head-to-head in the Maracanã. Renato Gaúcho was without many of his starters, but the Rubro-Negros were on a roll. Juve had failed to win in 3, leaving them very close to the relegation zone. Kennedy, Michael and Pedro all started in attack for the hosts. Marquinhos Santos sent out his team with Paulinho Boia and Ricardo Bueno up front. Flamengo led the way. Mateuzinho brushed off the defenders and released the thunderbolt that smashed onto the post. Kennedy advanced on the right and exchanged passes with Pedro, whose clever back heel returned the ball. The man on loan from Chelsea picked his way through to find the net. His first for Flamengo, and what a goal it was. Minutes later, Michael beat Paulo Henrique after a pass from Felipe Luiz. He centred and Pedro did what he does best to poke the ball into the back of the net. 2-0 Flamengo. Then came the moment the fans had waited a massive 1,221 days to see. Andrés Pereira struck a sensational goal in the magnificent Maracanã. This was Flamengo's first goal scored by a set piece since Diego struck back in 2018. A truly marvellous shot from Pereira. Chico Kim took a corner on the left, William Mateus beat the defenders and headed home to put his side back in it. Rodinei pulled back to Andrés Pereira outside the box. The Flamengo man was definitely in the mood, and expectations were high as he lined up this one, but the ball hit the woodwork. Pereira then had another go, and hit the post yet again. An impressive performance from the midfielder, who received a standing ovation when he was subbed. Game over and another 3 points in the bag for Flamengo. It was back to the drawing board for Juve, who just cannot get clear of the drop zone. In a tussle between two teams with very different objectives, leaders Atlético Mineiro took on strugglers Santos in the Mineirão. Top scorer Hulk was missing, so big signing Diego Costa took his place in attack. Santos were without star player Carlos Sanchez, who was suspended, so Gian Mota stepped in. In a controversial night, Diego Costa hit a wonderful pass to Zaracho, who was brought down by Wagner Leonardo. The players and the fans screamed for a penalty, but the appeals fell on deaf ears. The best opportunity in the first half was this shot from Alan from a long way out that forced João Paulo into a brilliant save. After the break, Cuca brought in Nacho Fernandes and Eduardo Sacha in place of Barreiro and Costa. The move would eventually pay off, but not until Santos went in front. Lucas Braga made a nice move and pulled the ball back to Haniel, who gave the Coastal club the lead. The former Cruzeiro man then rubbed it in against his ex-club's bitter rivals by claiming he was the boss of the Mineirão, something he'd come to regret later in the match. Gallo's lightning comeback started with the penalty when Calibi was taken down by Lucas Braga. Nacho Fernandes converted to make it 1-1. Moments later, Nacho turned provider as he delivered the ball perfectly to Nathan Silva, who headed home to put Gallo ahead.
The constellation of Atlético Mineiro with Nathan Silva.
Calibi was once again brought down in the area, this time by Velasquez, and VAR confirmed the penalty. Nacho again stepped forward, João Paulo saved, but the Argentine was the quickest to react. Joy for Hulk, watching in the stands. Another big win for Atletico as they moved a step closer towards the title. Just one win in the last 5 for Santos, who are well and truly in the relegation mire. With no wins in the Arena Condá, Chapecoense's chances of survival are virtually zero as they came up against Atlético Paranaense. Pintado gave a debut to 20-year-old Rodriguinho. He also had Keylor and Bussanello returning to the team. Alberto Valentin's side were at full strength. In the very first minute, the host created a good opportunity. After an excellent exchange of passes, Mikey received on the right and centred. Lima appeared between the defenders to force Santos into the first save of the game. In a counter-attack, Mikey pulled off a 1-2 with Anderson Leite. He then finished with his left, but once again was denied by Santos. The Hurricanes' team talk at the break certainly worked when they returned for the second half. Pedro Henrique crossed from the right, Abner pulled it back to the middle, and Terence struck. The player then had another go, but Keylor saved Chapecoense. With 58 minutes on the clock, Mateus Ribeiro beat Hitchard and exchanged passes with Anderson Leite before delivering a stunner into the top corner. What a goal, as the former Atletico man scored against his old team.
What a play by Chapecoense!
But when it looked like Chape might get the win, Kelvin centred from the right and Christian popped up as he beat the keeper to send the ball into the back of the net. The sixth goal from the defensive midfielder this season. Chape remained rock bottom while Atletico moved to mid-table. Fortaleza locked horns with Grêmio in the Arena Castelão. While the Lions were in the race for a top 4 finish, Grêmio were having big problems fighting for their first division survival. Fortaleza went to the pitch with the same team from the previous matches, with David and Hobson in attack. Grêmio had caretaker coach Thiago Gomes on the bench after Luis Felipe Scolari had been given the boot. Expectations were high as both teams were desperate for all 3 points. Fortaleza's Mateus Vargas shot from outside the area and almost scored after the ball took a deflection. But Breno made a quick recovery to save Grêmio. A huge stop from the young keeper. The hosts continued to press. At the end of the first half, David got the ball in the area, turned Juan and went inches wide. The second half started with the same intensity as the first. Lucas Crispim caused problems with a set piece, but Breno made another top save. Grêmio went on the attack with a header. The winger hit a powerful shot but couldn't quite hit the target. Ferreira kept busy. He looked dangerous as he tricked his way through, but Benevenuto stepped in at just the right time. Fortaleza then moved forward as Romarinho set up Iago Pikachu. The right back let fly and beat the Grêmio keeper with a fantastic shot. A crucial goal for the home side.
Fortaleza puts it in with Iago Pikachu opening the scoreline here at Castelão Stadium.
End of story at the Castelão, and a great win for Fortaleza. Grêmio went down to their 4th loss in their last 5 outings, and the threat of relegation is becoming a real possibility. Corinthians faced Fluminense in the Neoquímica Arena, hoping to bounce back after defeat to Sport. The Tricolor were going through another rough patch and needed a decent result. About 11,000 fans were there to get behind their team in the World Cup arena. Silvino had his magic quartet of Renato Augusto, Juliano, Roger Guedes and William all starting. Marcao had to make do with that former Brazil international FECHA who was injured. Bodeia came in, and in defence David Braz replaced the suspended Lucas Claro. The Musketeers continued to attack and created the first opportunity. Guerrero Pereira centred and Juliano headed just over the bar. The atmosphere was dampened when star player William was forced to leave the game early on with a hamstring injury. Gustavo Silva was the replacement. Moments later, Juliano was there again as he set up João Victor for a chance on goal. Caio Paulista tried to get busy for Flu. He got on the end of a nice pass from Iago Felipe, but was denied by Cassio's solid save.
So Caio Paulista inside the box, he's gonna shoot, Cassio makes the save.
The action in the second half slowed down, but Corinthians livened things up when they went in front. Gustavo Silva was active down the left wing. His delivery found its way to Gabriel Pereira on the opposite flank, who hit a glorious shot to break the deadlock.
Gabriel Pereira, the beautiful finish. Gabriel Pereira wide open, no chances for Marcos Felipe.
The first goal for the 20-year-old and rising star at the Neoquímica Arena. Danilo Barcelos had the last chance for an equaliser. He made his way forward into a promising position, and then João Victor almost turned the ball into his own net until Cássio saved the day. Game over and an important win for Corinthians, who moved on to 40 points and looked ready to face arch-enemy São Paulo in the next round. Fluminense are going through a bit of a wobble as the place in the Libertadores is starting to slip away. In Wednesday's final match, Internacional clashed swords with América Mineiro in the Beira-Rio in Porto Alegre. Diego Aguirre brought in Mercado to replace the injured Bruno Mendes and kept Yuri Alberto in charge of the attack. Wagner Mancini started the game with Fabricio Daniel, Aldemir and Felipe Azevedo up front. The opener didn't take too long in coming. Rodrigo Dourado tore apart America's defence with a beautiful pass. Patricky picked up speed and with a sensational volley hit one of the best goals of the round.
A wonderful goal for Patrick, breaking the luck of Matheus Cavicchioli. Masterpiece for the number 88 of the Reds.
But while the Colorado fans are still celebrating, Aldemir took advantage of a loose ball and fired in a shot. The strike wasn't the best, but Daniel got it all wrong and the ball went into the net. 1-1 in the Beira-Rio. The Rabbits had a great opportunity to go ahead with Fabricio Daniel, but the Colorado's keeper redeemed himself with a decent stop.
And now we have the chance for Fabricio Daniel. The opportunity! Daniel!
Internacional came back a little more aggressive following the break, and Yuri Alberto almost scored after combining well with Johnny. On the 63rd minute, Mauricio cut into the middle and centred to find Patrick inside the area. He headed home to score the second of the match and put Inter ahead once again. Yuri Alberto then wrapped up the points after the supporters had been singing he was going to score. The frontman started the move that left Caio Vidal in a very good position. Matheus Cavicchioli saved the first, but Yuri Alberto headed in the rebound. The striker's 11th goal of the competition, leaving Hulk and Gilberto behind in the Hitman's chart.
O Internacional!
A good win for Inter, who closed in on the top 6 places. America lost their first in 5 and are not yet completely free of danger. São Paulo and Ceará went head-to-head in the Morumbi in a very important 6-pointer. The game featured the return of Rogério Ceni, who was back in charge at the club. The new manager made changes, and the team only had 2 central defenders, plus Orihuela and Benitez returned to the starting lineup. Ceará had Fabinho in midfield and Kelvin on the right in their 11. São Paulo started on the attack, putting pressure on the away side, but struggled to hit the target. The first attack was with Igor Gomes. He recovered the ball, but his powerful shot hit the post. After soaking up the pressure, the away team then stunned the hosts. Fabinho managed to get possession before unleashing a rocket to give his side the lead. A masterpiece of 1-0 for the Vozão.
What a beauty, what a masterpiece for Fabinho.
The tricolor kept plugging away to find a response. Hinaldo centred and Luciano headed onto the woodwork. Hitchard then stopped the follow-up.
Nothing's working for São Paulo. Unbelievable, Luciano.
Next, Gabriel Sara had a shot from a long way out. Hitchard misjudged it and Luciano wasted a good opportunity to level the score. Ceará also had more chances. Vina crossed, but Kleber was stopped by a sensational save from Volpe. Ceará so close to going 2 up. During half-time there was a power cut in the area, but the tricolor fans made the most of the opportunity to light up the arena. São Paulo returned, firing on all cylinders. Luciano beat Fabinho with a cheeky nutmeg and forced Hitchard into an amazing save. The tricolor piled on the pressure and eventually got the equaliser.
Richard insisting Caleri!
Ceará's defenders failed to clear, and Caleri got in a shot. The normally reliable Hitchard failed to hold on to the ball, gifting it to the Argentine, who said, "Thank you very much."
Johnny Caleri scoring his 2nd goal this season.
Luciano had the chance to put São Paulo ahead after a cross from Sara, but headed inches wide. Volpe was having a busy night. This time he had to be at his best to deny Erici. The much criticised keeper again proving his worth. 1-1 the final score. Not the result Rogério Ceni wanted, as São Paulo drew their 6th game in a row for the first time in the club's history. No wins in 3 for Ceará. With no wins in 5 and one of the worst campaigns at home, Cuiabá took on Sport Recife in the Arena Pantanal. The Lions arrived on the back of 3 straight wins. Jorginho repeated the same formation from a draw against São Paulo. Gustavo Florentin was without the injured Rafael Tereri, but had the return of Inanes. The away side created the first good chance of the game. With 27 minutes on the clock, Gustavo finished from outside the area and saw the ball head into the net. But the assistant referee had spotted an offside against Malcom.
Oh, Gustavo gives the lead for Sport, but the play stopped. It's an offside.
Sport went on the attack again at the end of the first half. Mikael recovered the ball inside the box, brushed off the defender and shot with his left. His effort went inches wide of the woodwork. Cuiabá returned from the break and made 3 changes. Elton, Felipe Marques and Cabrera all came on. 5 minutes later, Felipe Marques exchanged passes with Cabrera and was brought down inside the area. The referee didn't think twice and awarded the penalty to the Dourado.
It looks like a penalty.
Correct call here. Sander puts the leg between Felipe Marques.
Elton converted to open the scoring at the Arena Pantanal against his former club. All 3 subs made by Jorginho had a hand in the goal, as Elton struck his 7th in the competition. On the 84th minute, the Lions almost managed to draw level. Sander progressed on the left and centred to Mikael. The forward headed well and hit the post. And Volta was very happy to see the ball go out.
The center by Sander. Mikael on the second post. Dangerous header.
A good win for Cuiabá, who climbed 3 places to 34 points. Sport's run of 3 wins on the trot was over as they stayed in the relegation zone. Opening our top 3 is Gabriel Pereira. Fabio Sanchez passed to Gustavo Silva on the left. The winger cut into the middle and delivered a perfect cross to the far post. Pereira ghosted in and hit the ball with immaculate technique. A great goal from the 20-year-old Corinthians player. Our second choice was a beauty. Rodrigo Dourado lobbed the ball behind the defender to find Patricky, who turned and shot with a first-time effort. A gorgeous volley into the top corner in the Beira Rio. But our top pick came from the magnificent Maracanã. Andreas Pereira was in fine form when he hit this unstoppable shot against Juventude. Just amazing from the man who's on loan from Manchester United. Pereira showing what the Premier League club are missing as he gets our vote for the best goal in round 26. The best save in round 26 came from Palmeiras keeper Jailson. The Greensman pulled off a series of brilliant stops against Bahia, but this one was the best. Lucas Mugni got a shot in, but Jailson stretched all the way to deny the midfielder and prevent the Greens going home with a defeat. Congratulations, Jailson. The most incredible bit of skill of round 26 was from Corinthians' Wagner. The former Brazil international left Flu's Caio Paulista completely flummoxed with this fantastic move. Hats off to Wagner, owner of the best skill in round 26. Time now to check out our team of the round. In goal, we've gone for Jailson of Palmeiras. At right back, Mateus Ribeiro from Chapecoense. Our 2 central defenders are Nathan Silva from Atlético Mineiro and Gil of Corinthians. At left back, Luan Candido of Bragantino. In midfield, Jadson, Red Bull. Andreas Pereira, Flamengo. Nacho Fernandes, Atlético Mineiro. And Patricky of Internacional. Up front, Gabriel Pereira of Corinthians and Pedro of Flamengo. Our man on the bench is Renato Portaluppi from Flamengo. Let's find out who got the vote for the best player of round 26. The answer is Internacional's Patricky, who scored twice against América Mineiro. First, he nailed a magnificent volley into the top corner. For the second, he beat the keeper and then struck the ball into the back of the net. Party all you want, Patricky. You are without doubt the best player of round 26 in the Brasileirao Açaí. "26 rounds in, Atlético Mineiro continue to lead the way as they sit 11 points clear of second place Flamengo. Wins to Fortaleza and Bragantino have kept the pressure on at the top. Palmeiras though slipped down to 5th place, Corinthians are in 6th. The fight to avoid a drop is heating up. Big names such as São Paulo and Santos are still in trouble, but the 4 teams in the relegation zone are Bahia, Sport Recife, Grêmio and Chapecoense. Goodbye, Colorado. Paulo Guerrero has asked to leave Internacional. The Peru striker, who was the FIFA Club World Cup winner with Corinthians in 2012, claims he has personal issues to resolve and cannot train. Guerrero has now travelled to Germany to treat a knee injury. A possible dream. Flamengo fans got a bit excited this week on social media after Erling Haaland was pictured wearing a club shirt. Borussia Dortmund's top scorer wore a Rubro-Negro's number 9 top with his name on it. Haaland has also expressed his love for Brazilian clubs before, when he appeared wearing a Corinthians shirt. Leaving. Hernan Crespo has said goodbye to São Paulo after leaving the club by mutual consent. Crespo was in charge for 53 matches, with 24 wins, 19 draws and 10 losses. The Argentine won the Campeonato Paulista at the beginning of the season. Arriving. Within hours of Crespo being shown the door, the tricolor announced the return of club idol Rogério Ceni. This will be the former keeper's second spell at the club, where he remains a megastar. Round 27 of the Brasileirao Açaí starts on Saturday with 2 games. Chapecoense face Fortaleza and América Mineiro take on Bahia. There's a busy day on Sunday with 7 matches. Palmeiras, Internacional, Atlético Paranaense, Fluminense, Grêmio Juventude, Ceará Red Bull, Atlético Goianiense against Atlético Mineiro, Flamengo Cuiabá and Sport against Santos. Closing the round on Monday is one of the biggest derbies in the country when São Paulo lock horns with Corinthians in the Morumbi. That's it for this week. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of the toughest, most exciting league in the Americas, and we'll be back next round with more action from the Brasileirao.